is as you can see on the screen, and this will be provided after the session. Please follow and like the official Facebook page of Elect4 SHRM webinar for future activities and announcements. Back to you, Jandee. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Lauren, for the reminders. To all of the participants, I would like to thank you in advance for following our simple house rules. On top of it, the only rule for today is to enjoy, listen, and let's absorb the knowledge provided by our great speakers. Last reminder to our dear participants before we start the webinar proper, remember that your active participation is very appreciated and important throughout the session. Right now, I want everyone on mute to avoid unnecessary background noises that may distract you and our speakers. Throughout the presentation, someone on staff will be managing the chat functionality. You can enter your questions and comments in the message box throughout the presentation. Once again, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce one of our great speakers for today. She's going to discuss the appraisal system as a strategic control. For over 3 decades as a talent strategist, our speaker has been intrigued by people, their potential, and what gets in the way of their performance. She has led HR teams for Apple and impacted leadership development in HR strategies in major corporations around the world. As a leadership coach and speaker, she will share with us today her authentic insights and decades of experience to provide effective and engaging keynotes. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our first speaker, none other than Miss Franchesca Castaneda.
So thank you, Mr. Jandee Bautista, and also thank you for having me here. I'm happy to talk to you all day. To begin with, we'll talk about the appraisal system as a strategic control. So it involves monitoring, evaluating, and observing the employee performance. So does anyone have an idea what is performance appraisal? Anyone?
Evaluation po.
Yes, and anyone else would like to answer?
Monitoring of an employee's job performance.
So thank you for answering my question. Let's dive into the main content. Performance appraisal is a review of an employee's job performance and overall contribution to a company. It helps to keep a record of each employee's performance, including what efforts they have made and what they have achieved. Performance appraisal system. This system measures employee performance against previously agreed goals, set future objectives, and give staff guidance on their developmental and training needs. It helps managers identify both achievements and shortfalls in performance and give a framework to guide the future improvements. There are different types of appraisal systems to consider. First is management by objective. It measures behavior and tasks against performance criteria. It is based as it assesses exactly what has been achieved against previously agreed objectives. The overall aim is to judge how well an employee has contributed to their department or to the business as a whole. Second is ranking system. It compares employees to each other, placing them from first to last according to certain criteria. This type of system is unlikely to be used in isolation but to add an input to other methods. It's a less formal method too. An example would be in sales situations or where certain targets need to be met, such as call centers. You will often see boards around offices listing which employees have achieved which sales or volume of calls. Third one is a 360-degree review. It collects feedback and input from lots of sources, from coworkers, managers, subordinates, and customers. It is considered to be quite objective as it gives a rounded look at the person from many points of view. The last type is self-evaluation appraisal system. It asks the employee to honestly assess himself. according to some agreed factors. They engage and involve the employee more than most systems, putting ownership on the employee to highlight their own accomplishments and shortcomings. However, employees may not accurately perceive their performance, so some external input from a manager may also be required. An effective performance appraisal provides consistent, reliable, and valid data to help the management make strategic decisions. It furnishes data according to the goal that serves the purpose of the performance appraisal and succession planning. And that's all. Thank you for having me here. I hope all the participants enjoyed my discussion.
Thank you, Ms. Franchesca Castaneda, for joining today's webinar. Your insights will surely help us understand the importance of effective performance appraisal system. With this, it will help to provide consistent, reliable, and valid data to help the management make strategic decisions for any company. Once again, let's give her a round of applause. Moving on, to proceed for the part 2 of topic appraisal system as a strategic control, our second speaker is a certified coach, strategic change consultant, educator, author, and conference speaker. She works with leaders, coaches, and consultants who want to unite people with compelling visions, align teams, and strengthen leadership skills required for the delivery of sound business performance. Our speaker is currently the official Human Resource Management Advisor in CEDAR Sinai Health Systems. It is my pleasure to introduce to you our second speaker for today, Miss Shane Marie Danao. Hello po, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Jandee Bautista. And my name is Shane Marie Danao, and I have many things to talk about, and I'm also thrilled to be talking with all of you today. With that, let's get started. So that we get to know what is performance appraisal system, and its effectiveness, we shall move on to planning performance. Do you all have any idea about it? If not, let's find out what it's all about. Performance planning is the first step of performance management. Just so you all know, performance management is ongoing communication between an employee and the supervisor to improve performance. Okay, so performance planning is the process to identify the goals of an individual or organization and planning the best ways to achieve them. It focuses on underpinning the growth of employees and helping their career development. During performance planning, the company objectives and the performance goals should be communicated to the employee by his senior. And of course, necessary training, resources, the support should also be provided. As you can see, performance planning is a crucial part of an employee's growth in the organization. Actually, there are two types of performance plan. The first one is performance improvement plan or PIP. So according to experiences of other people, if we ask someone's network what the scariest words during performance review season are, there's a good chance that we'll hear performance improvement plan from more than a few people. PIP get a bad rap because many people equate being put on one can be fired, which is only sometimes true. But the seriousness of them shouldn't be ignored. If you are put on PIP, know that all hope is not lost. You have the power to turn your performance around and save your job. So what exactly is this performance improvement plan? It lays out the steps an employee who is underperforming needs to take to upgrade their performance. If you're being put on a PIP, your manager and HR will most likely meet with you to go over it and answer any questions you may have. In layman's terms, it's like being put on probation when you're in school. You're going to be watched closely during this period. If you aren't successful in completing your PIP at the end of the timeline, losing your job is usually the end result. If you've been struggling to meet your goals, a PIP is meant to give you concrete ways to turn your performance around. For most, simply knowing exactly what they can do to improve is enough to make their way out of the slump, meaning it's definitely possible to succeed on one. A question, if you are PIP, does that mean you should start packing up your things? Definitely not. Because think about it, if your company really wanted to fire you, would they take the time to create a plan to help you meet your goals. However, you should remember that if you don't meet the requirements, repercussions which should be outlined in it. On the other hand, a performance development plan or PDP is used with employees who is already performing well to identify new ways they can contribute. With underperforming employees, it can be used to identify areas for improvement, set goals, and develop strategies to achieve them. Before we move on to next topic, we should keep in mind that the performance planning should be open, honest, and most importantly, ongoing. Discussions between employees and leaders should continue throughout the year, not just at the annual period. Okay, so Miss Franchesca already talked about the performance appraisal, that it is a review of an employee's job performance and overall contribution to a company. Now, I will discuss its process. The first step in the process is setting up the standards which will be used is to compare the actual performance of the employees. This step requires setting the criteria to judge the performance of the employees as successful or unsuccessful and the degrees of their contribution to the organizational goals and objectives. Next, to communicate the performance standards. Once set, it is the responsibility of the management to communicate the standards to all the employees of the organization. The employees should be informed and the standards should be clearly explained to them. This will help them to understand the rules and to know what exactly is expected from them. Third, the most difficult part of the performance appraisal process is measuring the actual performance of the employees, that is, the work done by the employees during the specific period of time. This stage requires the selection of the appropriate techniques of measurement to ensure that personal bias does not affect the outcome of the process and provide assistance rather than interfering in an employee's work. The next one is the actual performance is compared with the desired or the standard performance. The comparison is the deviation in the performance of the employees from the standard set. The results can show the actual being more than the desired or the actual performance being less than the desired performance, depicting a negative deviation in the organizational performance. It includes recalling, evaluating, and analysis of data related to the employee's performance. Fifth is to discuss the appraisal with employee. The result of the appraisal is communicated and discussed with the employees on one-to-one basis. The focus of this discussion is on communication and listening. The results, the problem, and the possible solution are discussed with the aim of problem solving and reaching consensus. Feedback should be given with a positive attitude as this can have an effect on the employee's future performance. Last is about decision making. The purpose of conducting employee performance appraisal is for making decisions about employees without any bias by the HR manager. Decision making by HR managers about employees rewarding, promotions, demotions, transfers, and sometimes suspensions or dismissal of the employees are dependent upon the employee performance appraisal. The decision taken by HR manager should match exactly with the performance appraisal results of the employees to avoid grievance or disturbances in between them as they affect the overall performance of the organization. So after knowing the process, let's now move on to performance appraisal method. Each method of performance appraisal has its strengths and weaknesses, and it may be suitable for one organization and non-suitable for another one. As such, there is no single appraisal method accepted and used by all organizations to measure their employees' performance. Before knowing the modern, I will discuss the traditional methods first. The traditional method are the old methods of performance appraisal based on personal qualities like knowledge, capacity, judgment, initiative, loyalty, attitude, and leadership. First, ranking method, the traditional method. It is the oldest, simplest formal systematic method of performance appraisal in which employee is compared with all the others for the purpose of placing order of work. The employees rank from the highest to the lowest or from the best to the worst. Next, third comparison. This method is an attempt to improve upon the simple ranking method. Under this method, employees of a group are compared with one another at one time. The paired comparison method is more reliable, but the method is not suitable when large numbers of employees are to be evaluated. Grading method, certain categories of work are established in advance, fully defined. There can be three categories established for employees: outstanding, satisfactory, and unsatisfactory. While there can be more than three grades, employee performance is compared with grade definitions. The employee is then allocated to the grade that best describes his or her performance. Next, force distribution method. This method was evolved by Thornton to eliminate the central tendency of weighting most of the employees higher end of the scale. The method assumes that employees' performance level confirms their normal statistical distributions. This is useful for rating a large number of employees' job performance and probability, as it tends to eliminate or reduce bias. It is also highly simple to understand and easy to apply in assessing the performance of employees in organization. Next, checklist method. The basic purpose of utilizing checklist method is the evaluation burden upon the reader. In this method, a series of statements or questions with their answers in yes or no are rated. This method, this method prepared by the HR department. The checklist is then sent to the rater to take appropriate answers relevant to the appraised employee. When the checklist is completed, it is sent to the HR department to prepare the final scores of all appraises based on all questions. Lastly, in traditional method is the essay method. It is the simplest one among various appraisal methods available. In this method, the rater writes a narrative description on an employee's strengths, weakness, past performance, potential, and suggestions for improvement. Its positive point is that it is simple in use. It does not require complex formats and expensive or specific training to complete it. Now, let me discuss the modern method. Here are the five most effective modern methods of performance appraisal. The first one is management objectives. Ducker was the first one to officially propose the goal-setting approach, which he stated as management objectives and self-control. Douglas MacGregor further supported it on the concept of Peter Drucker. MacGregor felt that the most traditional systems of appraisal involve rating of traits and personal qualities which could not be measured accurately. So under this method, employees are not evaluated based on traits. Rather, they were judged by their performance against objectives set by the employees. The main feature of this method was the mutual establishment of goals or targets by the managers and employees. It ensured that employees had an realistic target they could actually achieve. Next is the 360-degree feedback. It is a systematic collection of feedback of performance data for employees collected from their peers, supervisors, and even customers. This is one of the most widely this is one of the most widely used appraisal methods. Since the participation of the managers, peers, customers are involved, this method gives an overview of the performance reviews collectively. The third one is psychological appraisals, one of the most exciting and intuitive appraisal methods. Why? Because this method assesses the employee's potential for future performance rather than their past one. It focuses on employees' emotional, intellectual, and other personal characteristics. Sabi ko ba?
Go, Shane, go.
Lang, sige. So the third one is psychological appraisal. It is one of the most exciting and intuitive appraisal methods. Why? Because this method assesses the employee's potential for future performance rather than their past one. It focuses on employees' emotional, intellectual, and other personal characteristics of performance. This method was suits the best for the workforce today. Employees are now quite vulnerable and feel often fall into the pit while balancing their work and personal life. This method understands that aspect and allows employees to shine in the future. Next is assessment center method. In this method, employees are assessed to participate in activities like in basket exercise, playing, discussions, computer simulations, etc. They are evaluated in terms of their persuasive ability, communication skills, confidence, mental alertness, administrative ability, and so on. This entire exercise is done under the trainer. Observe the employee behavior and then discuss it with the rater, which evaluates the employee's performance. Lastly is behaviorally anchored rating scales or BARS. It is designed to bring benefits of both qualitative and quantitative data to the employee appraisal process. BARS compare an individual's performance against specific examples of behavior anchored to numerical ratings. As you can see, the traditional methods lay emphasis on the rating of the individual's personality traits such as initiative, dependability, drive, creativity, agility, intelligence, and leadership potential. Modern methods, on the other hand, place more emphasis on the evaluation of work results, job achievements, than the personal traits. Modern methods tend to be more objective and work-led. So before I step out of this virtual stage, I just want to thank the organizers for inviting me in this educational webinar. It feels gratifying for giving me a chance to share my knowledge to all of you. I hope you all learn a lot from me today. And for the ending part of my speech, let me share this quote by Douglas Cannon. To win in the marketplace,
Sigurado
you
tayo,
must
Nay?
first win
Sigurado?
in the workplace. Thank you.
Before anything else, I would like to remind everyone to remain unmute. Thank you. So again, thank you, Ms. Train Marie Danao, for joining today's webinar. I would just like to share the key takeaway from our dear speaker. We must always remember that a performance development plan is used with employees who are already performing well to identify new ways they can contribute. With underperforming employees, it can be used to identify areas for improvement, set goals, and develop strategies to achieve them. Once again, thank you, Ms. Shane, for your insights. It will surely help the management make smart strategic decisions for any company. Once again, everyone, let's give her a round of applause. Okay. Okay. So we're now officially done for the first topic of this webinar series. If you have questions, use the comment section in our Zoom meeting. We will try to accommodate questions after the activity. So let's continue our webinar topic for our third speaker for today. We all love Zappos, right? They have excellent customer service and they know how to use social media recruiting to engage their audience, build relationships, and grow the company image. They don't believe in working from home because they want to have a close team dynamic. It is a pleasure to introduce to you the head of human resource at Zappos, our third speaker for today's webinar, Ms. May Oguing. Hello, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Jandee Bautista. And also thank you for having me here. Hello to our dear participants. I'm very much excited to be with you today. My name is Maria Hannah Mayoging. And to begin with, let's talk about motivation. The term motivation has been derived from the word motive. Motive may be defined as an inner state of our mind that activates and directs our behavior. Motivation is something that moves the person to action and continues him in the course of action already initiated. According to S.P. Robbins, motivation is the willingness to exert high levels of of effort towards organizational goals conditioned by the effort and ability to satisfy some individual need. The relationship between the organization and its members is influenced by what motivates them to work and the reward fulfillment they derive from it. There are mainly two types of motivations, such as extrinsic motivation and intrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation is geared toward external rewards and reinforcers. Some examples of external rewards are money, praise, awards, and etc. Some examples of external reinforcers are policy procedures, disciplinary action, speeding tickets, boundary setting, and etc. Extrinsic, extrinsic motivation is external in nature, while in the intrinsic motivation is geared toward internal rewards and reinforcers. People may work at a job because it gives them feelings of competence and sense of personal control. Our deep-rooted desires have the highest motivational power. Um, the acceptance, curiosity, honor, power, social contact, and social status. And the content theories in motivational theories. It is the content theories find the answer to what motivates an individual and is concerned with individual needs and wants. Following theories have given their theories of motivation in content perspective. First one is the Maslow hierarchy of needs. Second is Hertzberg motivation hygiene theory, McClelland's needs theory, and the last one is the Alderfer's ERG theory. While in the process theory, it is theory deal with how the motivation occurs, the process, and motivation following theories were given in this text. First one is the Virum's expectancy theory. Second is the Adams equity theory. Third one is goal setting theory. And the last one is the reinforcement theory. So in Maslow hierarchy of needs, it is a theory in psychology proposed by Abraham Maslow in his 1943 paper, A Theory of Human Motivation in Psychological Review. Maslow extended the idea to include his observations of human innate curiosity. This can be understood by understanding the hierarchy of needs by manager. The needs of individuals serves as a driving force in human behavior. The next one is Hertzberg motivation is associated perceived to be desirable to achieve goals and the undesirable conditions to avoid. The first set of job conditions has been referred to as maintenance or hygiene factor, wherein the same job conditions provide the same level of dissatisfaction. And the second set of jobs conditions is referred to as motivational factors, which primarily operate to build strong motivation and high job satisfaction, but their absence and number three, McClelland's needs theory. It was proposed by a psychologist, David McClelland. This theory is sometimes referred to as three-need theory or learned needs theory. Need for power, it answers about what is power, Power is ability to induce or influence the behavior of others. And the need for affiliation. People with high need of affiliation derives pleasure from being loved by all and tend to avoid the pain of being rejected. And the next one is need for achievement. McClellan found that some people have an intense desire to achieve. And the number 4 is the Alder first ERG theory. It is the extension of Maslow's hierarchy theory, wherein the Maslow's 5 needs are categorized into 3 categories. It is the existence theory, relatedness needs, and growth needs. It comprises the existence needs. It comprises of all those needs that related to the physiological and safety aspects of human beings and are a prerequisite for the survival. And the relatedness needs, it refers to the social needs that an individual needs for whom he cares. And the last one is the growth needs. It is part of esteem needs which are internal to the individual, such as
Cut ko na. Sorry for the inconvenience. Miss Hannah Oguing, are you still there? It seems we lost Miss Hannah Oguing due to the bad weather. So, thank you to our speaker, Miss Hannah Oguing. To our participants, I hope that our speaker presentations have sessionated and provided concrete advice to help you ensure your people feel inspired and motivated at work. In summary, we don't need to depend solely on salary increases to try to motivate our employees. The truth is that there really are plenty more motivators for the typical employee than money. For the last time, thank you again to our last speaker for today, Miss Hannah Oging. Let's give her a round of applause even though she didn't finish her talk. It's still okay. Hey, thank you, ma'am. So thank you very much to our three speaker for today. I hope you all enjoyed and get something useful to this amazing presentation. It was a pleasure to have you with us. Sadly, we need to end our webinar session for today since we are short on time. For now, this concludes the webinar. See you again next week. Thank you all for attending, and we hope that you have learned something and enjoyed this amazing presentation. Again, I am Jandee Bautista. It is my pleasure to be your host for today. God bless and keep safe, everyone. Thank you.
Okay, let's all go back to the mainstream. Only after. Okay, just close your presentation so we can go back to the mainstream.
Ayan na. Okay na
Okay,
yan.
okay na to.
Yes, sir. Sorry po.
Okay, yeah.
Yes
And
po,
really,
sir.
so there will still be part 2 of this, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because I'm expecting that you will also be delivering lecture assigned to you. Now I like the presentation, no? And congrats, Mr. Jandee. No? You're really a good Now, my only comment is the audio. No?
Yes,
Sayang
sir.
nga eh.
Sa ano po,
Wala.
due to the bad weather po, natamaan po kami.
Oo nga eh. Sayang.
Sorry sir, hindi po talaga kinaya kasi sobrang sama po
Oh,
talaga ng panahon.
yeah. It's okay. It's okay. I know that you have been prepared and really delegate the task, no, to the members of your group. Your group, group 2 ba kayo? Group 3, Princess?
Group 3, sir.
Group 3 na kayo. No?
Yes po.
Okay. Wait. 3. How many group do we have?
4, sir. Bali, last na po sila Angeles. After po namin ng second part next meeting, ano
Okay.
po, sila na po yung last.
Yeah. I will just going to make the announcement before Monday, no? Sunday kung we will going to meet Monday or Tuesday. Pero
Okay, sir.
yung Wednesday intact na yun, ha?
Apo,
Since
apo.
we will meet twice next meeting. Okay, so I think the part 1 has already been delivered as expected. It's awesome. The only thing that I have is of course the audio. So let's give them a virtual applause. Ang group. Ayan. Wala yata akong tulakabigin sa mga grupo, no? Yan ang gusto ko. Itong section na to talagang masisipag. Oo. Very creative and have all the ability to communicate. Ayan. No? So keep it up. And since we have one more group after the group of Princess, yung part 2 ng report nila, so more or less, as far as the schedule is concerned, no, we're not left behind. Although nalulungkot ako kasi akala ko yung first academic calendar that was given to us, no, the one that was actually been pasted in our group chat, July. Yung taka ako, bakit ngayon June? Tapos napaaga pa. Diba? I cannot understand. Okay, anyway, it's not your mistake. You're not supposed to be the one to be blamed. No? It's the management. No? They have all the prerogative to change the schedule. Okay, as long as we have delivered all the important topics in special topics in Scrum. Okay, so I think we are now going to have our screenshot, Princess, where everyone should to go.
Okay lang, sir. Pwede po. Christian, ano, ayan. Isama mo na si sir dun sa gilid. Tama lang yun. Okay. Sa first part muna tayo. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, wait lang po. Next page.
Parang nakatabi yun.
Oh, sir, wait lang. Ayan, sir. Ayan. Okay, sir. Full screen ko lang po. Okay. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay. Wait lang po ah. Christian. Oh. Okay, sige. Kabilang slide. Wait. Wait. Okay. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay na po.
Thank you.
Thank you
Princess.
po.
Okay, by the way, I know that come Sunday, I know you will all going to greet me happy birthday. So, ang gusto ko, parang mag-send kayo ng can you do that, Princess? Yung parang, anong tawag dito?
Video
parang,
greeting?
Parang gano'n. Hindi naman lahat makakapagsalta kasi ang dami yun. So, parang isang card lang na may mga picture ako doon, tapos you have all the wishes and everything. And then, huwag niyo akong babulahin, ha? Kasi totoo lang, ha? Kasi hindi pa ako nakaranas na ako ng last year. Meron akong former student talaga namang, pati yung team song ko, alam. No? So then, nag-scan siya nung may access siyempre, friend ko. So, pinag yung collage, yung mga picture ko, I was really surprised, no, ha? Oo, nang ganon. So, since this section is well loved by me, no, dahil kayo na may kailang semester na kayo, siguro it's high time, no, na, ayan, alam ko naman na whether I like it or not, babatiin niyo ako, di ba? Para kung bata yun, no, nagre-request pa, no, na greetings, no. Well, if kung hindi makaano sa inyo, no, gusto ko lang marinig talaga yung honest to goodness points ninyo for me, no, ha. You don't need to worry. I can accept it, di ba? Kumbaga parang sa evaluation na gagawin ninyo, ay once lang naman kayo, di ba? Dahil kahit dalawa subject nyo sa akin. Yun lang. O tapos i-post nyo na lang doon sa Facebook ko para everybody can see, hindi yung Facebook natin, no? Doon sa kabilang Facebook na lang para at least even my friends and loved ones can see it. Oh, from my BM class, no, ng 3A. Ayan. Oh, greetings. At tapos mga bati-bati ko yung mga chuchu, chuba-chuba, di ba? Kasi masarap ang birthday. O lalo na kung marami kung meron kang ihahanda, di ba? Pero hindi naman sa handa yun eh. We need really to thank God kasi lalo ngayon, no, naka-recover ako. And with the fear in my heart, no, kasi alam niyo, first time ko na magkasakit, first time ko ma-hospital, tapos I don't have my wife pa with me. Kaya medyo naging sensitive ako. For all you know, no, gabi-gabi umiyak ako sa hospital. Pagtulog na yung bantay ko, ako lang, para akong bata. I'm calling my wife, no, yun, nag-excuse ako sa kanya. Nakiusap ako sa doktor ko, nag-discharge ako ng 23 so I can go directly to the cemetery, Manila Memorial Park, where she's buried. Kasi birthday niya ng 23. So hindi ako pinayagan. Discharge ako the following day. Kaya nga, may sudden change of plan, hindi na matuloy yung aking housewarming kasi hindi pa tapos ang construction. And then celebrate ko na lang yung birthday ko with my son and his wife. And then meron akong special friend also joining us. Pupunta na muna kami ng Manila Memorial Park, okay, to spend an hour or and a half, and then we'll go directly to Tagaytay. Ayan, doon ako magpalipas kasi yung aking special friend, sabi niya ko, sige, pa birthday ko, sagutin ko ang lunch. Sabi naman ng anak ko, sige, lunch na po kayo at kami na lang po yung merienda kasi maghapon tayo sa Tagaytay. O, di ba? Oo. At least with my family and loved ones. Gusto ko man kayo imbitahan, hindi pa kayo pwede lumabas. Alam mo yung excuse no? Kaya ang dami nyo. Okay. But I'm happy kasi nga na-feel ko naman yung concern ninyo, lalo yung mga prayers ninyo. So salamat po. Okay? So baka magkaiyakan pa tayo. So we'll continue.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Ang galing.
Happy birthday, sir.
Galing naman. Ang bilis naman gumawa ni Princess. O dapat niya kasama yan sa iyan gagawin niyo. Ha? Wala ba akong kasabay?
Wala, sir!
Wala, ako lang. Okay, sige. Dapat makita ko yung ginawa mo yan, ha? Yung ganyan, ha? O para, nakakaiyak, ano? Oo. Ganun pala pag you're aging na, no? Parang aside from fear, no, ha? Fear in my heart. Kasi nga, kumpleto na sana, no? Kung my wife is still with me. No, ha? I hope yung special friend ko, pero wala, Still, the wife is the best, di ba? Oo. I will, honestly, I will admit, no, ha, that I have a girlfriend now. Okay. So, pero no plan na po tuloy ako eh. No? Uh, ano yun eh, matibay yun eh. Don't you know that she was my former student in the IP? She's a graduate of civil engineering. Pero naging estudyante ko yun, fifth year na sila. Fifth year na. Eh, alam mo, nung mga panahon na yun, bawal ang student-teacher relationship, di ba? Alam ko naman na didadit sa akin, nandito. So hanggang ngayon, ayun pa rin. Pero I appreciate it. Lalo na nung nasa hospital ako, every day, pinapadala niya ako ng kanyang pagkain, gano'n, no? Luto niya, yan. Pero ano na siya, she's married already. Kaya lang, divorce na sila. At yung anak niya ay inanak ko sa kasal. Kaya yun ang storya. Okay. So, alam naman niya where she will go to put her place. Lalo na kapag nandun ang misis ko nung panahon na yun. Okay, sige. I'm becoming emotional. Okay, thank you so much for the advance greeting. And see you again next week. As I said, it's either Monday or Tuesday. And then Wednesday tayo para matapos na natin. Okay, so I hope the group 4 we're now going to be ready after the group 3 because we have only two more meetings left or 3 more meetings left bago mag-find. Walang graduating student po dito sa section sa subject na to. Walang graduating students. Oh, okay.
Wala
That's
po,
nice.
sir.
Para hindi ako malate ng pagka-submit. And then Princess, pakiayos na lang po yung mga records natin, attendance sheet and everything like what you did last time, no? With picture, with student number and signature para mabilis maisasubmit ko kasi ngayon mahigpit ngayon ang capsule. So, kailangan we submit everything on time. Okay?
Okay, sir. Noted po.
Okay, thank you so much and
Happy birthday.
stay safe. Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, sir. Happy birthday po.
Bye, sir. Happy birthday.
Sir, happy birthday po. Bye po.
Birthday po, sir.
Bye, sir.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Bye, guys. End na.
Bye-bye po.